Hi, my name is Deronica Goldsmith and I'm interviewing Ron Bulger. What kind of relationship did you have with your siblings? What stands out about them in your memory of your childhood?
I don't remember.
What is your earliest memory of your house or your residence, your family, your town, or events in the news?
My earliest memory?
Yes.
I think it was my grandmother's funeral. That would be my dad's mother,
What was her name?
Ida Bulger.
How old were you?
About 4.
And why do you remember that?
I think I was just old enough to, or just tall enough to see it, look in the casket.
Was there anything else that happened that day?
I don't remember.
Do you have any other early memories of your town?
Uh, I remember walking to school. I went to North Warwick School, and we'd walk. They'd give us a ride, and
Who would?
my parents would drive us over to school, I think, until I was in second grade. Then we started using the bus. I wanted to get home before my brothers, so I took off from school, and but I didn't realize that it wasn't time to go home. I think I took off about noon, and I started walking home, and I didn't realize that it wasn't time to walk home. And I came home, and my mother was using the sewing machine in the back bedroom.
Did you get in trouble?
I don't think so.
Is there any events on the news that you remember happening?
Let's see. Well, the biggest thing was Kennedy's assassination. That happened on November 22nd, 1963. And we were in Mr. Polsko's class, and they broke in. They gave us an announcement during this. It was a Friday, and they announced it over the loudspeakers that he'd been shot. Then I think they announced it at 1 o'clock, and at 1:45 they announced that he died.
What class was Mr. Polsko's class?
That was an applied ag class.
Is that high school?
Yeah, that was high school. My senior year in high school. No, yeah, that was my senior year.
Who were your playmates or your pets?
We had a dog named, let's see, what was the dog? We had a dog named Rex. And I don't remember too much about him, but
What color was he or kind of dog?
I think he was a black and white dog. I can't remember what make he was.
What about Lanny?
That was later.
Any other pets?
Oh, there was also a dog named Tippy. She had a white tip on her tail.
Did you have any pets out of the farm animals?
Not really, but
Which games, toys, or celebrations were your favorites?
I usually got Tinker Toys for Christmas.
What kind of things would you build with it?
Oh, a Ferris wheel or whatever. Sometimes trucks and stuff like that.
Did you ever go to any parades or celebrations?
No, not very much.
How important were movies, television, and radio or bicycles in your childhood?
Well,
So movies.
we used to go over to the outdoor, and I watched. What was it? What was the name of that movie? Oh, the creature from the Black Lagoon. And after we went to that, I saw that. I was afraid of the dark for about a year after that.
How old were you about then?
Probably about 10, 9 or 10.
Any other favorite toys or games? Games you play with your brothers and sisters? Or places you would go riding bikes?
I didn't learn to ride a bike till I was like 16.
Why was that?
I just didn't have the balance or something. I don't know.
And was your house, where was your house?
It was on Willow Bend Road
What city?
in Walworth. It was about 2 miles north of Walworth. That's where I live now.
So that would say that the house is still standing.
Yes.
And how would you describe the house? What it looked like?
Well, let's see. It was painted white. Well, actually, it's pearl gray. That's what they said. And it had red trim.
And that's what it was most of the time growing up.
Yeah.
How many rooms did it have?
It had a living room, dining room, and a kitchen. In one half, and bedroom, bathroom, and another bedroom on the other side. And a hallway.
When was the back hallway added?
Oh, let's see, probably around in the early 50s.
Why?
Just for more room.
Was that something contracted out or you guys did on your own?
My dad built it.
You have anything else that you like to describe about the house? Describe the basement or the attic?
Well, the attic was all open at that time, and they later put drywall on along the sides. But there was it had cedar shingles, and the room at the top of the steps off to the right of the top steps was Roger's, and he would there were holes in the roof, so he once in a while he had to have snow on his blankets when he woke up in the mornings.
How easily or how often did you get into mischief? Why and what punishments did you incur?
I don't remember.
So you never got in trouble.
I wouldn't say that.
Were your parents strict?
Not real strict.
Were there any rules you remember you had to follow?
We helped with the chores, or we were expected to help with the chores, and out in the barn.
What was out in the barn?
The cows. We had about 20 milk cows.
How often did you have to milk them?
Twice a day at 6 o'clock. 6 o'clock in the morning, 6 o'clock at night.
What are your most vivid memories of childhood?
Oh, I don't know. Let's see.
People, places, things.
Oh, probably going to North Walworth School. I do remember at one time I was in second grade. I think it was first or second grade, and they asked me why this word was capitalized, and it was a name, but it was also the first word in the sentence, and I knew that there was two reasons for it to be capitalized, because it was a name. I think it was George, and it was the first word in the sentence too. So, and also let's see, when we had science in fifth, I was in fifth grade, and they had fifth, sixth, seventh, and eighth grade all took science together, and they gave the test, and I had the highest score. I was in fifth grade, and I got the highest score of the class of all fifth, sixth, seventh, and eighth grade.
So how would you describe your grades most of the time?
Yeah, they were about average, not, and
Any other vivid memories of people, places, or things?
oh, let's see. Let's see.
Did you have any stuffed animals?
No,
Favorite blanket?
no.
Which relatives do you remember, and what stands out in your mind about them?
My dad's sister, Aunt Gladys, lived in Chicago, and she would come out here about once a month to visit. She would bring Aunt Gladys and Uncle Glenn and my cousin Bobby and Lenny Greasehammer would come out, and we'd just play around. We had chickens across the road, and Lenny was afraid of the chickens. And one time when they were out, Lenny was crossing the road and got hit by a car. She was, I don't remember, but she was in shock. I don't remember what we did, but I don't know if we called the ambulance or not. But I do remember her being hit by the car that time.
Did you take any trips to visit any relatives, and how did you travel there?
We went down to see them, and Gladys drove down to Chicago. But, let's see. I think we did that for, I think it was Thanksgiving. And we took the bus down, took the L down to State Street, and walked down State Street. Looked at all the Christmas decorations on State Street.
That was the only person you went to go visit?
No. My Uncle Chuck had a cabin or a house on Delvin Lake. We'd go over and see him once in a while. We'd go swimming over there.
What chores were your responsibility?
I had to gather the eggs and help with the milking, and
Did you get an allowance for doing that?
no, that was just something we expected to do. So.
Did you get any spending money? Or how would you earn spending money?
Oh, we had nice squeaky chair, isn't it? We would catch hellgrammites across the road in the ponds, and sell those for fish bait. I can't remember how much we got for those, but anyway, We made quite a bit of money at that time.
What would you spend it on?
Sometimes I put it in the bank, and then I used that for my lunch at school. That's what I paid for my lunches.
What was the financial condition of the family?
We didn't have a whole lot of money. We got by, but that's about it.
How did you celebrate birthdays, Thanksgiving, 4th of July, Christmas, or other holidays? And did you observe Halloween? And then how did you celebrate those events?
Well, we walked down the road and went trick-or-treating to the neighbors on Halloween.
And celebrating birthdays?
We did a little bit, but we didn't go overboard on it.
Like, would you get presents, or just eat cake, or just have a meal, or?
Sometimes we'd get presents, I think. I can't remember.
What about Thanksgiving?
We just should have, let's see. I don't know. Can't remember too much.
4th of July?
I don't remember.
Christmas? Were there any Christmas plays, pageants?
Yeah, we'd usually have the Christmas plays at the church. We'd have Christmas plays on Christmas Eve, and sometimes come home and allowed us to have one present after we come home for the Christmas play.
Do you remember any of the gifts you received?
Oh, not really. It wasn't. Just the Tinker toys when I was younger.
Did you?
One year I got a typewriter.
Did you do anything special to celebrate Easter?
We usually went to church.
What were the family customs for weekends, Sundays, or Sabbaths, or summer days? So Friday after school, what would the weekend look like?
Well, we'd have to milk cows, and that was the everyday thing.
What major events do you recall? Any like fires, storms, moving?
Oh, let's see. Well, when the cows got hit by lightning, that was about. It was a month before Kennedy was shot, and it was October of 1963. I went out to get the cows, and they had a thunderstorm that night. Went out to see it, bring them up, and they didn't come up
Why?
because they were all dead. There was about 22 of them dead
Where were they?
under the hickory tree across the road.
So what'd they do with them?
They had a rendering service come and pick them up.
So what did that do for your farm life?
Well, my dad we got a little bit of insurance for it, but not enough to cover it. But my dad started working part-time or some outside jobs. After that, he worked at George Williams College, and he worked at Admiral, and finally he worked at Isley.
Any other storms or moving or events or weather things?
Not that I remember.
How far was school from your house, and how did you get to school?
Well, I walked to school. Well, or walked, we were in first grade, and then the second grade they started using they got the bus started picking us up, and we were at the end of the route, so the bus turned around in our barn driveway.
During what hours were you in school?
Um, Probably from 8 o'clock till 3 o'clock, I think, something like that.
When did you start school in the fall and end it for the summer?
We started after Labor Day and ended, well, usually Memorial Day or right after the Memorial Day.
What subjects did you like best, or which ones did you like least?
I like math.
What was your least favorite?
Oh, I don't know. Maybe social studies.
Were you able to attend school regularly?
Yes, and for high school, I had perfect attendance all through high school. Well, they did. I wasn't able to go one day because of the snow, and they counted it as half a day. So they said the school would be open, but buses weren't running, so they counted it as half a day of high school that I missed.
What do you remember about your teachers? Do any of them stand out in your mind as having a significant influence on you?
Trying to think. I had Mr. Hucker for English in my freshman year and my junior year, and Mrs. Nylons was my sophomore English teacher, and she started out being our senior English teacher, but she didn't finish the year because she was pregnant. So they had a substitute teacher for the remainder of the senior year.
Did you feel pressure to make good grades?
No, parents just never let me do whatever I wanted to as far as grades were concerned. I did get on the honor roll when I was a junior.
How did you spend your recess?
When I was at North Walworth, we'd go outside and play baseball, or if it was in the wintertime, we'd play board games.
What memories stand out in your mind about elementary school, junior high, or middle school?
We only had grade school and high school. Grade school was first grade through 8th grade, and high school was freshman 9th through 12th.
What did you do in the summer or when you were not in school?
Helped on the farm, and I usually most of the years when I was young, I was barefoot all summer, so my feet got to be really tough.
So there probably, like you said, there wasn't very many trips. Were you active in any sports, scouting, camping? You said you were helping your parents on the farm, or were you visiting relatives?
Mostly just working on the farm.
How long did it take to do the chores or milk the cows?
Probably about 2 hours.
Did you study or participate in music, art, or dancing?
Well, we had music, and we had a music teacher that came to North Walworth School. I think Was it once a week? Maybe once a week. But I wasn't really good at singing.
Do you remember what kind of songs they were?
Oh, yeah, we had a yellow songbook. We did Home on the Range, and I've been working on the railroad, and some of the other ones.
Were there books that you liked to read as a kid?
Oh, I can't remember.
Were there any hobbies or sports that you pursued?
Not on a competitive level. We did a little bit intramural in the high school. We did a little bit of basketball, and yeah, we did have archery in high school too.
Did you do anything for games, reading, or making things at home?
I do remember playing checkers quite a bit. And then in high school I was joined the chess club.
Did you do anything as a family together? Did you have any family time?
We let's see. We did build a fort out in the woods. I don't know. We just got some old boards and stuff and built where Naomi's Wool's house is now. We had a fort out there at one time, and then just because we wanted to, we burned it down.
And you didn't get in trouble for that?
No. But, we also had built a raft that we used to play with in the pond across the road out of telephone poles.
Was there a story about somebody burning a cornfield?
No.
That wasn't here.
No.
Let's see. During your childhood, what were your favorite foods, clothes, sports, stories, movies, heroes, or people?
What's better? Oh yeah, we would go out in the woods to play on the hill in the back by the back pond. We would go out there and sled in the wintertime.
Would you do any ice skating?
No.
Did you do any hockey or anything on the ice?
Yeah, a little bit. Sometimes we'd clear it off just to play around on it, clear the snow off it.
What was your favorite food growing up?
Oh,
Were there certain foods you ate a lot of?
we didn't have a whole lot of food.
So which foods did you have?
Oh, whatever we got out of the garden. And we would, every once in a while, we'd butcher cows, so we'd have steaks and stuff like that. So I've never was not impressed with going out to eat steaks because that was common when we were growing up.
Did you have any favorite clothes?
No.
Any favorite sports? Stories? Or favorite movie?
Oh, I don't know.
Any heroes or people you looked up to?
I do remember watching Superman. And I actually did think you could fly at one time.
Did you try flying yourself then?
No.
What part did church religious activities play in your early years, both at home and away from home?
We would we didn't go to church until until I was in high school. I started going to. I did get a perfect attendance pin for Sunday school when I was a junior junior or senior in high school, and I remember wearing that attendance pin when I had my senior picture taken.
So you did the whole family attend church then when you were in high school?
No, but
What were your dreams or plans for the future?
I just took one day at a time.
What did you want to be when you grew up?
I'm still not sure.
Yeah, but did you say something when they asked you when you were younger? Did they?
I thought I was going to be a farmer, but
And then, has that become a reality for you?
well, I did work on a farm for 7 years after I got out of high school.
What experience did you have with death as a child or a teenager? What funeral or burial customs were followed in the family or community? You mentioned one already, but any traditions or customs with that?
I'm trying to think. It wasn't until I was out of high school before there were any significant deaths in my family. But most of the funerals I went to were the traditional funerals, and where they'd have a visitation on the night before and then the funeral the next day, and with the viewing of the body and then the funeral.
Would they have a luncheon after the funeral?
Yeah, usually. But that was like I said, that was after I got out of high school.
What neighborhood gatherings, either social or working, do you recall?
Oh, they did. They used to come around to have the. We had a bunch of the neighbors come to help us with the thrashing, I think. So that was. But we were the last ones to. But they would. We would help the neighbors, and they would help us to do some of the farm, like the harvest and grain. But see, I can't really remember. I do remember there was a bunch of people come to help us do something.
On a regular basis?
Well, every year. I mean,
Were there any like social dances, gatherings, or youth group?
I remember they did have a dance at the mill one time. They cleaned out an area of the mill in town and had a dance. I don't remember how old I was then. And I used to go to the dances after they used to have a canteen after they called it a canteen after the basketball games, the home basketball games.
Did you ever like camp out in the backyard?
I don't remember doing that.
Would you have bonfires?
Oh, once in a while.
Are there any lessons that you learned as a child or a teenager that have helped you in your later life?
Oh, I'm not sure.
Are there any other memories that you recall from your childhood? Things you'd like to share about your childhood? Or describe your parents? Describe your brothers or sisters?
What about your group in church?
Oh yeah, we had on Thursday nights we'd have a BYF. That's a Baptist Youth Fellowship. We'd go there on Thursday nights. So
About what grade did you start doing that?
when I started high school,
What kinds of activities did they do?
we played games and had some Bible study and
Did you have a favorite game you'd play there?
oh, in the summertime we'd play some outdoors things.
Pit was one of them, wasn't it?
Yeah, we did that. That was indoor. That was an indoor game. We'd play pit, or sometimes we'd meet in homes. I remember playing pit, and we got really loud. We got really loud when we did that. Let's see. What else?
Do you remember anything about neighbors? Any neighbors you were close to, or
Well, we'd go down to Carlson's. That's down the road. That we'd go down there, play with them every once in a while.
play what?
I don't know. We just played.
Did you play indoors or outdoors?
Well, sometimes we played outdoors. Sometimes we played indoors.
Is there any other board games you remember playing?
I do remember when we were in at the parsonage, and we play. They would all get around a table and repeat table up, table up, table up until the table would levitate.
And it actually would move?
It actually moved. Then later we found out that it's probably that it's bordering on the occult.
Yeah.
But that was in BYF.
And were there any things you got in trouble for growing up?
Oh, I don't know.
How would you describe your parents?
Well,
Or what were they passionate about?
I don't know.
Well, that's the end of my questions for today. And
All right.
talking about the summary of your childhood with Ron Bulger.
All right.
Thank you.
You're welcome.